This is an ABP Live Podcast.
Hello everyone, my name is Ishita Mangal. I am a fashion designer and a content creator, and today I am on Bollywood Binge and Beyond with Niharika to do an interview with you guys. I'm very excited for it. And so Niharika, what do you have?
Firstly, I'm super excited because I've been watching your content for quite some time and taking tips as well. दिख रहा है या नहीं वो नहीं पता. But I try my best, and because of course I'm learning from the best.
That's so sweet.
So it is truly so amazing to have you here because people have always seen you through your lens and through your content, and today to have you here on my podcast is truly amazing. And starting से start करते हैं. What's up? क्या चल रहा है आजकल?
कुछ नहीं यार, गर्मी में शूट करती रहती हूँ, इधर उधर बाहर वॉल्स ढूंढती रहती हूँ और मेरी टीम मेरे साथ फ्राई होती रहती है. बस यही चल रहा है. We wake up at around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock
अरे बाप रे.
do our shoot. So I mean, this what happens. I mean, the weather is a little bit of a challenge, and especially I love doing outdoor shoots because I like to add that other layer. And outdoor shoots में यही problem है, weather becomes an issue. So we're waiting for November, October.
Exactly, and I think इस बारी तो bad luck ये रहा है कि मई से ही इतना unpredictable weather रहा है. Usually क्या होता है, गर्मी, you expect गर्मी, you can carry an umbrella, you can carry loads of water, that's it. But इस बारी तो umbrella भी double, triple carry करने पड़े because it's been raining since so long.
It's been flooding, so it's actually very sad what's been happening in the city and around in the country. But we have to make do with whatever.
Exactly. Right. So, Ishita, tell me this, like you yourself, Abhi, you introduced yourself, you're a fashion designer also, you're a content creator also, but like by profession, you're a fashion designer. So, ye transition, ya ye addition of another, feather to your hat of content creation from fashion designing, kaise hua?
So I had my own label when I did my fashion designing course from NIFT. After that, I started my label.
Right.
And I was actively working on it. But what happened is, of course, all of us hit the pandemic, and like all industries took a hit, and so did mine. So the sales were suddenly zero. Like we made no sales suddenly, and then because of that, I felt ki. And also pandemic mein you didn't know when they are going to when things are going to restart, if they will ever restart, whatever. So there's that whole unpredictability, right? So what I did was I started making videos to show the styling of the pieces that I was selling. Because people were like, okay, we don't understand how to style your clothes and this and that. So I started making videos because of that.
I am also one of those.
No, you're not. You're styled beautifully, wearing a floral top with these fabulous green earrings. You're looking lovely.
Getting this such a compliment from you made my day. Seriously. Because I really doubt my styling skills, but I'm working on it.
You're looking lovely.
Thank you. So are you.
Thank you so much. So the journey started from there, and I think pandemic mein then we were not selling anything. There's no courier services, there's nothing, there's no buyer, there's no nothing. So
and it was immediate. ये भी नहीं कि we had some time to plan कि ठीक है हम कुछ delivery services start कर दें, या if you are exclusively only doing your stores and your website तो हम कहीं और भी start कर लें. You didn't have that kind of time.
No, there's nothing. So then I just started making videos for the fun, I was like, okay, let me have fun and let me make videos for myself. And that picked up so much, and I started enjoying it so much that I just continued with it, and then never reopened my label again. So
that is amazing. You never know कि वो होता ना, एक idea can change your entire life.
Yeah.
I think this was that idea.
I mean, I was lucky enough to still have a roof over my head and have that privilege to take that jump where I was not doing anything. I could still survive taking that creative risk, So that way I was lucky, and it worked out for me.
Worked out best. Yeah. And now that you are a content creator, how is the glamorous content creator life going?
Listen, there are, you can ask Muskan over here, there are very little glamorous parts to all of this. This mostly we getting fried in the sun or the, something or the other keeps happening. Right. But I think of course it's glamorous, there's no denying about it, but those parts are very little.
Very little, right. And short-lived also.
Short-lived, exactly. So it's the whole, you have to enjoy not the perks of it, but the process of it. So even though, the weather might be a problem or something or the other, sometimes you put together look, it doesn't work out, sometimes something doesn't work out, but you have to still enjoy the process, and the perks will, like you said, are anyway short-lived.
Short-lived, right.
That's fine.
And like, how is that part? Like, we get to see these days that content creators are going for events, they're going for, fancy makeup workshops and trials. And these days, we're also seeing film stars are collaborating with content creators. So, how is that part treating you?
I just feel like, the whole industry has become so relevant, and there is so much weight that this whole industry has taken up, because I feel like people's, like, even if you analyze people in this room, so many people are still on their phone, and that's just what it is. So many of us are always on the phone.
Our phones.
So our digital consumption of all of us has increased. It has increased a lot, and that's where the influencer or the creator industry sort of comes in and takes up their space. And I feel very proud to be a part of this industry, because it's ever growing, it's ever changing. Of course, it's
super
very
dynamic.
Volatile. It's not a standardized industry. It's not.
There is no instruction manual.
There's no way to go about it. There's no, there's no process. You either make it, you don't, and tomorrow what happens, you still don't know, right?
Exactly.
If you delete Instagram or you ban Instagram, I don't know what I'll do. You know what I mean? So it is a volatile industry in that sense. But I really like the fact that it's become so relevant that people from other industries are also able to recognize this. I feel like earlier this was an industry which was not really treated with respect, and I feel like somewhere that's still there, but a lot of it has changed now, which is amazing.
Right. And again, as you said, that it's being embraced by people all around.
Yes.
It's not just that, just because I'm a fan of some XYZ creator, so I'm following them and I'm just laughing on their reels or something of that sort. It's become a holistic industry as a whole. So where do you see this going? Aage jaake, like, what is the scope of, because there are, again, people like you are motivating so many young creative minds to become content creators. So where do you see this going?
I feel like as human beings, we might be a fan of someone, we might like someone, whatever. We also get bored very easily. So we are always constantly on a lookout for new talent, creative talent. What is it that someone is doing different? And I feel like that's where the industry needs to head, where you're looking at things differently, whether it's in terms of the kind of content that creators put or what brands are putting, or even in terms of ads. I feel like there needs to always be a creative approach. Let's do something different. Let's go out of the box. Whether you fail, you succeed, that's a different thing. But I feel like that's what people will always want to see, and I think being creative will always be relevant. Right. So because the consumption is so much, the boredom is also increased with it. So I feel like that's where people need to head.
Uniqueness is the key.
Is important.
And in fact, I was researching about you, going through everything that is there on the internet about you, and I caught, like, this Reddit thread caught my eye where someone was talking about you. And mostly I don't delve into these things because half the time it gets nasty for no reason. But I somehow just went into it and I started reading, and you won't believe, not a single bad comment or a negative comment was there about you.
Really?
Really.
I'm shocked.
People were talking about it, people were talking about your work, people were talking about the kind of things that you're putting out, and everyone loved the way you do it, like your unique touch of that quirkiness, the jokes that you crack, especially that. Like, even when a lot of people said that there is a lot of saturation in the fashion, content creation also, and makeup also, har koi wo kar raha hai, but the uniqueness that you bring to it is what makes you stand out. And honestly, I was so happy reading it, because
That's very sweet.
Thank
you for anyone who said that.
exactly, I was so happy because I have gone through these threads for a lot of people, and 50-50 hota hai, that 50% are good, saying acha hai, 50% are good, acha nahi hai, and then they're making nasty comments and saying bad things, but there was nothing like that, and that makes you stand out.
Oh, that's very sweet. I mean, I'm sure if you have to pick out something from my content, I'm sure there's something. I'm sure I've made mistakes on the way. So, I mean, but that's still very sweet of people who've written this. I had no idea.
You see, you have fans. So many people relate to the kind of things, the kind of jokes that you crack. I relate to it a little too much for my own good, I would say. But like, from where did you get this, idea of mixing comedy and fashion and makeup and the entire mix of all things?
So I started making videos in 2020, and when I was making, the market was already saturated. Like in the sense, and especially in fashion, there's so many relevant, amazing creators doing amazing work, and I was just starting out, and I was like, first of all, there was a need to like, what can I do to be different? Because I do have a creative angle towards things where I feel like, let's do something else. You know, why to do, even if I feel like maybe, it doesn't matter if someone can do it better or not, but why do the same thing? First of all. Second of all, it didn't feel me. So even though I started making videos the way everyone did, I could watch my videos. I swear. I find it very... I found my normal videos very cringe. I mean, for whatever reason. But I just felt like it wasn't me. It wasn't me as a person, and I just couldn't watch it. And I was like, if I can't watch it, why would I expect the audience to watch it?
Right.
And that's when I was like, listen, let me just do a voiceover. I just randomly decided, I had already filmed something, and I was like, let me put this voiceover. Let me record it and see. I recorded it. It was really, like, to me, it felt funny at that time. And because you were picking on the audience a little bit, so I thought I would be hated. I thought that people would not like this and people would hate me for it. But I was like, okay, at least it's something different. Let's put it up and see.
Right.
I wasn't big during that time. I had very little followers, so very little to lose at that time, and we just put it up.
Perfect time to take a risk.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then that just worked, right? Like, people really liked it, and I was shocked. I was like, oh, like, not a single hate comment on this. Like, that's so strange, right? And then,
rest
we
is
just
history.
we just kept experimenting with different formats and different things, and then now we are where we are. And I feel like at some point, maybe I'll get bored of what I'm doing. Maybe the audience will get bored, and then we'll come up with something else. But I feel like comedy and fashion and beauty on my page will always be there, just different versions of it probably.
Right. And can you, like, koi bhi chota sa joke, the way you say it, can you crack it? I know it's a very on the spot thing, but whatever comes in your mind, kuch bhi, that you can, give a small snippet of it.
Maybe on your earrings.
Okay, yeah, please, go ahead.
Maybe like something like, okay, you're wearing, style it with green earrings because red flag to tumhari life hai, something like that.
Right, yeah, perfect.
Could be that.
Again, we are sitting in a red, studio, so life to वैसी red flag ban rakhi hai. Okay, and talking about, bringing new things, you also started another, not recently, ab to ho gaya time, but another series of Ishita and Ishita. So, firstly, to whom amongst the two do you relate more to?
I'm definitely, I feel like the way we are brought up, all of us, most of us, let's just say, let's not generalize this, but most of us, I think there's a little bit of both personalities in all of us, because we've always been raised to be an Ishita,
yes.
But there is some part of our person, somebody has bullied us, something has happened to us, and there's a Ishita that comes alive, right? So I feel like we all live both parts, so I wouldn't say I'm one, but I am a little bit of both, given the situation, but definitely more Ishita. I'm definitely more on the sassy side now, at this point in my life. But yes, there are parts where I relate to the other character as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you come up with this idea? Because again, you styling, maybe there has to be a breakthrough, there has to be something unique and different that you're doing. So how did this, concept of two different...
So it actually came from the idea of, if you see my old videos, I am very quirky in my styling, and I felt like not a lot of people were understanding where that's coming from. That's my personal style. So I felt like sometimes I do quirky, but sometimes I also like to do basic style. Like one sari can be styled in a basic way, but it can be styled in a quirky way. So I was like, how can I show two looks in one video, and it came from that where I was like, okay, I want to show two ways, because one that is more relatable to people probably in terms of styling, and the other which is more of an extension of me. And then of course there was a need to do things differently, right? Like there was a need to like, okay, how can I be creative in this? And that's where we, you know, did a whole this thing on the name, on my name, Ishita, and then Shita was actually something, there was a name which my friend used to use for me in school, and I used to hate it. I was like, what is this Shita that you call me? And I used to get so pissed off. And then when I started the series, she called me up, she's like, you took my name, now I'm gonna like file copyright report on this. But
royalty deni padegi unko.
Yes. But yeah, so
it turned out pretty well.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun thing, and I think it's just it's nice to do. It's just something different that I like to explore, and let's see. Maybe we can come up with something else.
Let's see. Hoping for it. And like talking about you as a person.
Which character do you relate to?
I think Shita.
Yeah.
I think more to that. I mean, I'm not that sassy, but I don't know.
I think it could be.
I could be?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Again, you know, मतलब जब relatives से मिलने जाओ तो I'm more like Ishita, but when I'm with my friends, I'm more Shita.
So same. So
Right.
like, you know, you have a little bit of both.
Both,
Yeah.
exactly. And talking about Ishita as a person, you know, we've all seen your fashion and your makeup wala side, but when you're not shooting, when you're not in front of a camera, when you're not working, who is Ishita Mangal?
She's wearing no makeup. She has her hair in a bun, and she's wearing the tackiest clothes. That's what it is. I swear, when I'm at home, I'm like, I hope no one can see me right now, because honestly, like, I know this is a part of my job to explain how to get ready, and of course this is me. I love fashion, I love beauty, I love makeup, and that is all me. But now it's not just me, it's also my job. Like, imagine काम ही ready होने का है.
Right.
It's too much. So most of the times when I'm home, I'm always like casual. But even when I go out to meet my friends, I don't put on my makeup. It's very like bare minimum things, and I don't like to dress up too much. So it's just because you just do too much of it already that you want to chill sometimes.
Right.
But yeah, that's how it is.
Nice, and I think I agree. Matlab, when you make, everyone says that, you know, you should love your job, and we all do.
Yeah.
But after all, it is work.
It is work.
It is work,
Yeah.
and it can be your passion. It could be the best thing in this entire world. But you are bound to get burnt out. You are bound to get exhausted, no matter how much you love doing it.
Of course,
we all need that
No,
break
you need
in life.
a break. And like for me, social media, I don't know about you, but like social media for me is very different than it is for people who consume my content, because for me it's a workplace.
Right.
So it can, of course, when you can't keep going to your workplace every damn time, right? Like
exactly.
it's the same thing for me. I find it very hard to show my real life, or to show I'm eating here, I'm doing this, because when I'm actually living it, I feel like being away from the phone. Like I don't even pick up my phone when I'm traveling or things like that, and you know, my team will always be like, Ishita, you should post then, you should post this, and I'm like, oh, like if I
don't feel like
constantly thinking about posting, it can get a bit harrowing. So I have decided that I'm not this person, and let's just keep it to that. Maybe we'll just stick to fashion, beauty, and maybe sometimes if I do feel like chatting, I will pick up the phone.
That you do also. You do question and answer sessions also.
Yeah.
Which is like good enough, I would say.
Yeah.
And again, this is a very different thing to do, because mostly the content creators that we see, उनके लिए whatever genre they belong to or whatever genre they're making content for, they have, you know, on their stories, they give snippets from their life or sneak peeks. Maybe I'm going there, I'm with my friends, I ate this, I ate that.
And it's very interesting.
It is.
I like to watch it. I just can't have the energy to do, like I don't know how to process, how to go through that process. I don't know. I find it a bit difficult.
You have a very fine line, a clarity of, you know, differentiation. Ki, okay, this is my space and I don't want to showcase
I guess,
it to everybody.
Yeah, I just need that break or space, and kudos to people who don't. Like I like watching, you know, when people are posting about.
After all, we are Indians.
Yeah.
हमें बहुत मजा आता है दूसरे की लाइफ में घुस के देखने में कि हो क्या रहा है 24/7. You know that aunties in each one of us, I would say.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But it's good. But I actually like this about your content, that you're sticking to what you do without getting burnt out yourself. Although I'm sure burnout वाले भी phases आते होंगे for you as well. But ये चीज़ differentiation करना, because social media का nature ही ऐसा है that you constantly want to put out what you are doing, and when you don't, तब भी FOMO होता है कि मैंने तो ये किया but मैंने ये post क्यों नहीं किया, मुझे post करना चाहिए था. So वो चीज़ बहुत अच्छी है that you can create that difference, because even as me, as a person who is just consuming this content, मेरा भी मन करता है कि मैं अपने दोस्त के साथ बाहर गई हूँ तो I should post something. And then I'm posting 24/7. Then I'm also working in a very similar, space.
Exactly.
So it does get very, very exhausting at the end of the day, and you need that kind of a break. And talking about a similar thing, I'm sure that even you would have had slumps. You would have had situations where numbers are not showing up, likes come aa rahe hai. So what do you do in such moments?
I feel like it's a matter of like if you do feel that content is not performing, because this is my profession now. It's not just something that I do for creativity.
Right.
Of course, there's that, but I also do make a living out of it right now. So things have changed. So I do have to think about numbers, and I do have to think about the performance, and you do have to we all, like, there's something that I do just for the creative part, which I know will probably not perform, but it will satisfy the creative energy in me. And there's something that I do that I know that will perform and that the audience might like. So then you make your content accordingly. You know that that's not probably the right representation of you, but you have to do it to perform. So it's a business decision.
It is.
So that you need to do to sort of help
yourself also,
your profile. And that's a good approach to have. I get this from a lot of artists that will ask the same question, that I find it so difficult to make reels. I'm a photo person, and I'm like, but you will either become irrelevant, or because or you'll just keep hoping that something in the algorithm changes, which we don't know is going to happen. So you have to adapt to something that will work, and then you keep doing what you love on the side
by side
anyway.
as well. Exactly.
Yeah.
And talking about you as a person in fashion, as an expert in fashion, something that we are seeing these days is that, proving that line that fashion repeats itself. We are seeing old styles coming back. We just saw, the coming back of corsets.
Yes.
So what do you feel about that? Not just corsets, like in general, of fashion being, a repetitive cycle or a circle that does come back to where it started from.
Yeah, I think that's the nature of fashion. That's always been the case. It will always, trends will go back, and they'll always keep coming back, and no matter what it is, and that's a good thing. I feel like that makes you hold on to some special pieces, that makes you also, I think when we go shopping, we are also aware of the fact that some trends might come back, so you automatically go into purchasing pieces that might be classic, that you feel might be relevant later. And so that, anyway, I feel like that's a very sustainable approach, because the fact that trends keep coming back builds a sustainable mindset for all of us, and that's a good thing, because then you hold on to some special things and you purchase accordingly, which is what we should anyway be doing as consumers.
Exactly.
Instead of getting swallowed by the whole fast fashion setup, where, of course, I think completely secluding fast fashion and saying that let's ban this, I don't think. Even though I would love for that to happen, I do. The reality is that it's not going to happen, because it's a part of our culture. It's a part of who we are now. It's so out there, right? Like in every country, in every city, whatever. So I feel like, but maybe we can shop fast fashion in a way that we feel like we shop things that might be relevant later. We shop better quality pieces from them, so things like that we can change about our shopping
in general habits.
Shopping.
So you said that there are certain things that are classic. So what do you feel is classic? Maybe just for Ishita, or in general as well?
Yeah. I feel like classic is something that that you can wear with multiple things. For me, it's that. So whether it's a pair of black sunglasses, whether it's a pink sunglasses, maybe that's your personality where you feel like you will keep wearing it later. So it's different for everyone.
True.
I do go towards a lot of basics and neutrals, so I do feel like I tend to repeat those a lot. Like most of my clothes, you know, like initially when I started making content, most of my clothes are 5 years old, 6 years old, and I didn't know how to give links of that, and you know, people would get disappointed, hey, where can we shop this? But I'm like, my wardrobe is only this, like what do I do about it? You know, I'm not going to shop a specific whole wardrobe just for my videos. That's like, anyway, that's not a sustainable approach. But I'm not saying that I'm the sustainability queen, or you know, that I am not unsustainable. I feel like I also need to do a lot of work there, but at least have some conscious you know, thinking towards the whole approach.
Right.
So.
And talking about trends and changing trends, any fashion trend abhi tak 2023 ka that you really liked or that you would want for it to stay?
Oh, that's a good question. You know, I got so sick of the color pink.
And yet we are living in Barbie times.
I got so sick of it. I feel like it's going to stay. I feel like it's been so like ingrained in us now. Like we've seen, all of us have absorbed so much of it. It's a part of all of our wardrobes. We've all gone and purchased a pink t-shirt, a pink bag, or pink sunglasses, and I feel like we're gonna wear it for some time. So I feel like that's something that's going to probably stay. Yeah.
But you don't like that much.
No, I'm telling you, even my mindset towards it has changed. I've started liking it. I used to not like it.
Okay.
But now I guess something in me has changed, and I feel like it's going to stay, and I feel good. I don't know, you know, I've gotten so saturated with so many Barbie reels. You open it,
Right.
but somehow I end up watching all of them.
That's
It's so
the
strange because it's attracting me. Like it gives you, it makes you feel good in some way, or maybe you're inquisitive to watch it. I don't know what it is, but I feel like that's why I feel like I like watching it. I don't want to like it, but I like it.
But you like it. And any one such Barbie reel that you remember of any creator that you really liked, that was different or unique in some way?
I think I wish I could show people. I think today.
Yeah, you can.
I can?
Yeah, you can.
There's
absolutely.
Okay, wait. There's a reel that somebody shared with me. I saw this. Thought he was magic, but he was trashing. Like there was just like completely different approach. So I like they've changed the whole Barbie song and made it more like feminist and you know. And so I like this Barbie reel
Right.
a lot.
Again, a very
Different
unique one.
version.
You think that you'd again see, you know, pink outfits were still a part of
Yeah,
it, but they changed it.
Yeah.
And I think they also, you know, stayed true to the idea that Barbie, the movie is promoting that Ken is just Ken, but Barbie is Barbie.
Yeah.
So I like that idea because
Have you seen the movie?
Not yet.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
I have.
How was it? How was the experience of watching it?
It's nice. It's got a very, you know, it's got a very feminist approach, and I love that, especially because there are going to be so many teenage children who are going to watch it, like girls, boys, and they're going to go with their mothers or like whoever,
Right.
you know, and I feel like it's the right audience to watch this kind of content. And you know, everything that Barbie used to stand for and made all of us feel earlier in our childhood, I feel like that is going to really change post this movie, and they've really made an effort to do that and in the right direction. So I am proud of that. I was just looking for more creative angles, I think.
Okay.
So as an artist, I was looking for them to really put me in that whole Barbie world and like, you know, make me feel like I've entered a different planet. So I felt like somewhere that was missing for me, but I still am a fan of the movie.
Right. Looking forward to watching it all the more now.
Yeah, should.
Okay. And talking about trends again, any beauty trend that you really liked from 2023, abhi tak?
I like the, first of all, this latte makeup has really blown up, which is basically, you know, doing shades of brown on your cheeks, on your eyes, and on your lips. And I've been doing that since so long. But it's just the branding of it is, like called latte makeup. So I feel like that's there to stay, especially really good for Indians because shades of brown and copper really suit all of our skin tones. So I feel like that is a good trend here to stay and will suit a lot of people, appropriate for multiple occasions, Indian, otherwise also. And I feel like that's one trend that I really, really like. Also like a reverse smoky eye. Okay. So it's basically something, an extension of your kajal and basically smudging it on the edge. Okay. It's something that I've done on my Instagram as well. I feel like it gives it's called a reverse smoky eye, but for me it's an instant smoky eye. Okay. So without making the effort of the whole smoky thing, it gives that effect. So that is one that I love.
And one trend that you want to bring back that has gone, could be a very old one, could be a recent one that has not been talked a lot about now, anything of that sort.
One trend that I want to bring back.
Could be fashion, could be beauty, anything.
I think like flared jeans for me. I feel like somewhere they've been lost right now, but I feel like they should make a comeback. I feel like it's a really good trend. Okay. Also have so many, so I'm gonna wear them.
And what do you love the most about Delhi?
The food. Delhi food is unbeatable.
Absolutely.
There's no way in any part of India or outside where I feel like the food is better. Like we have everything and everything is done so well. You have new places coming up and every place is beating the other. It's just amazing. Like the food in Delhi is just
next level.
Yeah.
What do you love the most? Any dish, any item, any cuisine, anything?
Oh, so many things. That is so difficult.
You can give us a list, we don't mind.
I like Mohit's ki kulfi. I like this chaat guy who's around my house. I like him. I love tandoori momos.
Tandoori momos.
Kahan milte hain?
This is Delhi through and through. This is
just Delhi.
This is genius.
Yeah, I wish I could get. I would have gotten something for you. Those tandoori momos would have been nice.
We could have had it here while doing the interview.
If I knew we were going to talk about food so much, I would have gotten it. But
so momos to वैसे ही रग में रहते
हैं. You have so
Delhi
many like different versions of momos that you get here, right? And I love it.
Right. Momos ही वैसे मेरे दिमाग में आ ही रहा था when I was talking about having those small habits as Delhiites.
Yeah.
I didn't used to like momos at all. जब तक we used to only get steamed ones.
Yeah.
But now there is such a huge variety to choose from, and now I'm a fan. Okay. And now coming to certain things that जो मुझ जैसे and बहुत सारे लोगों को भी बाहर doubts होते हैं. They have a lot of questions about makeup. They have a lot of questions about styling. So let's now that we have you with us, let's burst some myths regarding fashion, regarding makeup, and let's try to help out all the confused girlies and boys also out there who want to know stuff like this. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first myth is, or you can first share also, maybe it's not a myth, it could be a reality as well. Yeah. So you can share whichever way you want to. People with oily skin shouldn't use moisturizers.
No, I think moisturizers basically just seal everything that you've done. It doesn't really give moisture, I think, as opposed to its name. Right. It just basically seals the moisture. And I feel like oily skin people can use moisturizers that are not so heavy and that are not so you also get oil free moisturizers that are appropriate for oily skin people. So I feel like it's important to lock it all is irrespective of what kind of skin you have. So that is I feel like that's a myth. Yeah.
Okay. More the makeup, more the skin damage.
No, I feel like that is also a myth because I feel like if you're putting less makeup, even if you're putting less makeup, you can damage your skin because if you're not putting it right. So for example, if I have not done any skincare and I just wake up and start putting foundation on my skin, then that is going to damage my skin irrespective, so if you're layering it right, you've put your skincare properly, you've put your moisturizer, you've put your sunscreen, whatever it is that you put your primer, if you have the right layers according to your skin type, time, and then you do your makeup, whether it's heavy or not, your skin is going to be fine because you've put in the right layers before that. So yeah,
That is also a myth.
yeah.
Okay. You cannot put sunscreen with a full face of makeup.
Before.
Before, after, whichever way.
You
Like a
can
lot of
put-
people don't know how to, manage a
Yeah.
full face of makeup and whether I should put sunscreen on it before or after.
Okay.
People don't know
so
that.
I film in the mornings only, and I have to put sunscreen because I do film outdoors, and even if I don't film outdoors, even if it's indoors, I always put sunscreen. You do your skincare, put your moisturizer, then you put your sunscreen. This has to happen during your daytime.
Okay.
The moisturizer, sunscreen are two steps that you shouldn't miss. Whether you put a serum before that or not, that's your decision, or toner, serum, whatever it is that you are doing. But moisturizer and sunscreen has to go. Then if you're doing your makeup, then after that you put your primer, then you start your makeup. So it happens after all these layers. You should not put sunscreen after you have done your makeup, but now you have those stick sunscreens that you can put after your makeup. So that is also something that has started happening, which is great because for someone like me who's shooting for 5-6 hours, ideally you're supposed to reapply your sunscreen every 2-3 hours, but I can't do that because if you do it over your makeup, it gets spoiled. So put the sunscreen that can be applied after makeup, which is
Also, talking about certain myths related to styling, there is a lot of chatter around black. That black makes you look taller, black makes you look thinner. Is that a myth? Is that the truth?
No,
What is it?
I think that's a myth. Of course, it can make you look thinner, taller, probably, but then also depends on the silhouettes, which we tend to neglect. Also depends on the body type. So, if, for example, flared jeans work for you, they might not work for me. You know, so it's the same. Like it's very different. And even if it's the same body type, I feel like we sometimes neglect proportions also. Like it's much more complicated than just body type. I think people just want to put themselves in that box, and I feel like that's not the case. Like sometimes two body types can also have the similar kind of approach, and so I feel like it's a lot more complicated than that. Just to say keep black
one
is
color.
that one thing. No, I feel like that's not right because there are a lot of variables to everything. But I feel like black maybe makes you look all of that, but I feel like there are also other things that can. It's just that it's easier to say that okay, black does all of this for you, but yeah, no,
It might or it might not.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I feel like styling, sorry to...
No, please.
Yeah, but I feel like styling has a lot to do with all of this. If you style everything right, no matter what it is, even if it's a white trouser, you can look tall, thin, whatever it is. Or whatever it is that you're aiming for, it doesn't matter.
Okay. And again, talking about skincare, good skincare requires hefty and expensive products. Like, is that a myth?
Oh no, that's a myth for sure, because good skincare basically, so I feel like that you don't need to invest in a lot of expensive, say, sunscreens, moisturizers, because that's something you end up using every day. So don't spend a lot in it. But I feel like the first layer that you put on your skin, probably a serum, is something that you shouldn't compromise with, because that's actually going to give you a benefit, right? Like anything that gives you that additional sort of, that they have actives. So anything that works on your skin actively, I don't think you should compromise too much for it. But even then, serums are also not very expensive. Like you shouldn't have a very expensive good serum. So I feel like skincare doesn't need to be very expensive. Like moisturizer's primary role is to lock in everything. You don't need an expensive product for that. You don't need it. And even sunscreen for that matter, it's a barrier. You get really good sunscreens that are not expensive. So I feel like that's a myth. Of course, if it's expensive, it might perform better, it might last longer, whatever. Of course, there are benefits to an expensive product, but I don't think
But that
that's
doesn't
the,
mean that that's the only choice.
That's the only choice, yeah.
Right. Got it. Okay. Another myth around styling is that plus size individuals shouldn't wear, very revealing clothes or things
So I
that are
hate
short.
this word plus size. I just hate it. I feel like, why have you put people in that box where, you're just talking about this one size? I know we've made it normal to say it, but I don't like it. I mean, you see a thin girl and you don't say she's thin girl. You just call her a girl. So why do you have to call somebody who is, you know, a size 16 or a size 14? I mean, I feel it's appropriate to say probably the sizes. I don't know. That's just my way of thinking. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But
no, but it's right. Like you are generalizing just some people with a tag.
Yeah,
it's never a good thing.
Yeah, I mean it's just a girl. We're all girls.
We're all girls. Exactly. That is what we should promote.
Yeah,
more and more.
Yeah,
but like. Okay, we can say that a larger build. Yeah. Maybe girls with a larger build shouldn't wear a certain type of clothing. Yeah. So is that a myth? Is that
is an absolute myth. I feel like, and I've seen so many people do that around me. I
have done it.
Yeah. I've done it. No, I was traveling honestly, and when I was traveling, I would see all these women wearing bikinis, wearing the swimsuits, and looking fabulous. And I feel like it's not the size, it is the confidence that makes all the difference. In fact, like I would sometimes feel conscious, but I would get the confidence from other women around me, and I would be like, why am I being so, you know, so icky about it? I think we've been in certain things are just ingrained in our head, and that's why we think like that. But I think it's all about confidence at the end of the day. I feel like anybody can wear anything. You know, I've never till date done a video on what body type should wear what, because I hate it. I genuinely come from this thinking that anybody can wear anything and look fabulous. You know, I feel like it doesn't matter what your height is, what your weight is, and whatever. I feel like you can look great, but you need to train your mind first. I feel like before you ask questions like what body should wear what, train your mind to believe that anybody can wear anything, and then go with an approach of course, I feel like styling in general can work a lot in terms of like putting things together aesthetically. Styling for me is not about you're looking tall or you're looking thin or you're looking curvy or you're looking, you know, some people, whatever it does, some people want to look shorter than, so it's not about achieving those kind of goals. It's about putting together things aesthetically pleasing to the eye, and that's it. That's what we need to do.
Absolutely, that is what we need to do, and I think that was enough of myths. And thank you so much for sharing all of these insights, because there is a lot of confusion around a lot of things, and I'm also one of those people who, I started using makeup just about 2.5 years back. Possibly even I didn't used to, so there was a lot of confusion. What to put first, what to put second. You have to give certain styling tips, okay? And you have to do it your way.
Okay.
Basic styling tips to the audience out there.
Wearing black with gold, because black is dull like your life and gold is chamkoing like my life.
Perfect. That was actually a good one to come up with on the spot.
Oh God. Yeah.
Anything else?
I think we're good.
We're good? Okay, no worries. Thank you so much, Ishita, for joining me today on Bollywood Binge and Beyond. It was such a great experience talking to you.
Yeah, it was super fun actually, and it didn't feel like an interview, it felt like a chat. You know, come to chat with a friend, which is...
I am the Jagat friend now, because everyone says that. You see,
really?
I'm a great person.
Yeah, you just made it so like easy. Yeah.
I am so glad. Honestly, that is the best thing you can tell an what is wrong with me? Honestly, that is the best thing that you can tell to an interviewer, and I'm so glad that you felt that way.
Yeah, I felt really nice. I'm so glad to connect with you, and your smile is just lovely. Your earrings, your smile is just beautiful.
So I hope that we can, keep on continuing seeing some really innovative and fun content coming our way through Ishita's style and camera.
I will try.
I'm sure that we'll keep on seeing it. And once again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. All the best to you for whatever you choose to do in life. And thank you so much for having me.
Thanks a lot. And keep listening to Bollywood Binge and Beyond on ABP Live Podcasts.
Bye.